Let's take a look at the chart action for MATIC. All right, so here's what we're looking at. I'm on the 4-hour time frame right now, and let's do the small time frame, and then we'll get into the bigger time frame. We have support right there, support right there. I'm watching this trend line going up, something like this. So basically, we're in an uptrend right now, moving up until we break this uptrend going to the downside. I'm assuming we can target previous resistance levels. First one sitting right here, second one sitting right there. Then the third one is sitting right here. The only thing though is I don't know, I'm looking at this falling wedge or this rising wedge. We have resistance right here, resistance right here. Giving me a trend line, something like this. So I don't know, it's possible that we come up and kind of have to play around in here before we either break to the upside or to the downside. There's a couple of things that I really like on this chart right now. Let's zoom out and go to the daily time frame, because this is the other thing that I was looking at before in my other videos. If we zoom out, we have support right here, and support right here. There's actually a couple different uptrends, but I think this is the one that I was looking at right here. And we actually came down and pretty much got support perfectly right on that trend line right here, and then we got a bounce. The other thing I was watching is we had resistance right here and resistance right here. Let's do a trend line going down, something like that. And I was saying, I was kind of curious in my last video, are we going to hold support right here and break through, or are we going to come down and break through it? We held support and broke through this downtrend going to the upside. So now what I'm looking at is we're still on the daily time frame. Let's go ahead and get rid of some of these lines. Let's get rid of everything actually, because we're going to be focusing on the moving averages right now. We have this 9 moving average coming like this. So basically every time we break below it, it's a bad, and we get rejected on it and we push down. When we break above it, usually that's a good signal. When we start pushing up, getting support on it. When we break below it, down, break above it right here, got a nice move up, broke below it, moved down, broke above it right here, possibly might mean it's a good move up. Look what happened though too. This is actually really good. We came up, got some resistance, came down, retested it twice. We got support on it this day, came the next day, went up, got a little bit more resistance, came down and retested it. Now it looks like we're heading up. Like I said at the beginning, this might be I think this is the first resistance that we have to break through. Then we can start targeting these ones right here, and we're basically sitting at this level right now. So if we could break through this level, then I think it'll be good, and we can start looking at these ones. I think the main thing that I'm probably looking at is maybe a trend line, something like this, pushing us to the upside. We're looking at this trend line right here until it pushes us to the downside. Then I'll be looking at these previous resistance levels, possibly. Like I said, the first one's right here. Let's see if we get past this one. But like I also said, on the 4-hour time frame, we have this little rising wedge that might give us some trouble. I don't know. Usually rising wedges are bearish patterns, meaning that they're going to break to the downside. But it's still possible that we break to the upside. If we do break to the upside, I think we could also maybe use it to target, or get a target, should I say. So let's kind of line up this a little bit better. We have a trend line like this, a bottom trend line, and then a top trend line. If we break to the upside, then we can maybe target from the top to the bottom of this wedge, drag this to the breakout, and depending on where we break out, maybe something like this. Maybe we're looking at a target of around 2.76 approximately. Like I said, I'd really be more targeting these resistances, but yeah, it's something to look at. I think in general, breaking this trend line would be a good thing, and then we can start getting more confident on these targets up here. Let's jump over to the MATIC to Bitcoin chart. Okay, so basically if this chart is trending up, it's good for MATIC, and if this chart is trending down, it's good for Bitcoin. It basically shows which one's performing better. So what I was looking at is we have some support doing an uptrend, something like this. It looks like we broke this trend going to the downside. However, this downtrend didn't really last that long, because if we do resistance, something like that, you can see we had this little downtrend, we broke it going to the upside. Now it looks like we're coming back to retest this resistance right here. I think if we could break this resistance, then what I'll be doing is adjusting this trend line, something like that, and using it as an uptrend like this. I think we're really testing the tops right now though. We had the bodies of the tops were right here, we're on the daily time frame, and then we had wicks right here. Let's go ahead and do some horizontal lines, one at the top and then another one at the top of the bodies, top of the wicks and the top of the bodies. We pretty much came in, that's pretty much perfectly where this resistance is. So I'm very curious, are we going to be able to break through right here and maybe hit this top up here, and or break through and make all-time highs on the MATIC to Bitcoin chart? Basically, if you buy MATIC at the bottom down here and you are holding it while it moves up, when it comes up here, it's easier to buy Bitcoin because this has outperformed Bitcoin pretty much. So yeah, I think in general watching these pairing charts are pretty cool. And I don't know, I've actually kind of lowered my position once we started hitting this area up here. So I'm kind of curious if we're going to be able to break through up here or if it's going to start going to the downside. Like I said, I did kind of lower my position once we started hitting these tops. So I don't know. We also can look at the volume. Look at the volume. There's a bunch of volume back here when we were hitting these tops, and there's not a ton of volume down here. So, I mean, I guess that is really just saying that more people were trading MATIC for Bitcoin over here and less people are trading for MATIC for Bitcoin. But in general, we are trending up. So until we break this trend line going to the upside, then I'm kind of looking at this resistance and maybe this next one resistance up here. I would say check out this chart, MATICBTC on TradingView. So basically, if we break this trend line going to the downside, it's going to be good for Bitcoin. And if we keep this uptrend going to the upside, it's going to be better for MATIC. Let's jump over to the total crypto market cap. All right, so here is what we've been looking at. This is the daily time frame, and we're basically bouncing in between these two trend lines. And I'm assuming that we're going to keep doing that, trending down until we break this resistance, giving me this trend line right there. If we break this trend line going to the upside, then I can start changing my sentiment that we're basically just falling down in this channel. The one thing I do like though is we were watching this channel, we came down, hit this support, or we hit this trend line right here, found support and got a bounce. Right now, what I'm looking at, we're on the daily time frame. We have support right here, support right here. We are trending up, and we are above the 9 moving average on the daily time frame. And it does look like we are holding support, just like the MATIC chart is. I mean, it looks like we're getting those bounces like that, which I think is a confirmation that it is possibly moving up. Let's see if we go hold this though, and let's see if this 180 moving average doesn't give us too much trouble. We are still below this 180 moving average, so I don't know, it's possible that we can get some trouble on it, but it doesn't look too bad. Let's zoom out a little bit. We were only under it for a little bit. Most of this bull run, we've been on top of it, kind of fell below it just right there. Then we broke back above it, got some nice support. Let's see if we can break back above it. Maybe that will be a really good signal. I think the main thing we probably want to watch though too is the weekly 9 moving average. If we go to that and delete everything, we have this blue line right here. Usually, like I said, when we break above it, get some support on it, move up. When we break below it, usually get resistance and move down on it. Right here, we kind of dipped below it, but we didn't hold, kind of got support on it and pushed up. Right now, we are below it and we are pushing, we're getting resistance on it basically. So what I really want to see us do is break through it and start getting support on it. I think once we break above this weekly 9 moving average and start getting support on it, hopefully, then we can start getting a lot more bullish on crypto in general. Okay, so let's go back to the MATIC chart. So yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of curious what's going to happen right now. There's a couple things that I'm kind of wondering about. I mean, we're at these like highs or these tops right here. Back here we had a lot of volume. Right now we don't have a ton of volume. We are still riding this uptrend, something like this on the big time frame. We have not broke this uptrend going to the downside, so I think that's good. And then also, like I was talking about, we have this 9 moving average that we broke above right here, and we're getting support on it. This is the daily time frame. And if we jump over to the weekly time frame, we're also above the 9 moving average on the weekly. So I don't know, that's pretty good. There's the 4-hour time frame has this rising wedge pattern, something like this, but it's the 4-hour comparing all those good things that are happening on the daily and the weekly. The other thing I was talking about at the beginning is we had this downtrend like this. We broke this downtrend going to the upside. So I don't know, I guess probably the main thing I'm watching is this uptrend right here. Let's see how far we can ride this uptrend going to the upside. Like I talked about at the beginning, First level I'll be looking at is right here, sitting at around 240. Second one is around 265. Third one is sitting around 289, something like that. Till we break this going to the downside, those are the kind of the targets that I'm looking at. Hopefully we can get some good volume to come back in and start pushing us, breaking like all-time highs and stuff like that. Let's see if MATIC just starts smashing that Bitcoin chart. Like I said, I did lower my position once we started hitting those MATIC to Bitcoin tops, but I'm kind of curious if we could break them. Let me know what you guys think, or what your guys' price targets or analysis is in the comments. If you have any questions, check out my Discord. If you want to support the channel, you can sign up for my Patreon, or you can send me Dogecoin to the wallet address below. If you're new to trading, you should check out this video right here that I made the other day. It's a video about trading strategies of when I buy and sell crypto. Alright, if you guys liked the video, hit that thumbs up button, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.